Afternoon, everybody. It's a lovely day today. Make sure you get yourself outside for a bit of exercise and get a bit of sun. Here we go with chapter 3 and 4 from Wednesday. Okay, said Big Col. What I want from you, Bazza, is for you to stay in the hole, lying deep, holding up the ball when you need to, but in a free roll, right? At the tip of the diamond. And we'll stick with zonal marking, 1-3-2-3-1 formation, okay? Although, obviously, I'd want you to track back when we go man-to-man. Right, said Barry, nodding. He shouldn't really have been nodding, as although Barry knew a lot about football, he had no idea what Big Col was talking about. Big Col was the manager of the United Kiddom team. He looked like a fatter, bolder version of Jonty or Peevish. He wore a big blue puffer jacket with the initials BC on it. They were in the home changing room at Wobbly Stadium, and Barry was doing up his boots. He was very, very excited. There were two reasons why Barry was here. First, there was a tradition in this world that one ordinary boy whose birthday it was, Barry had kept quiet about the fact that it wasn't actually his birthday for another 3 days, was allowed to play in every one of the United Kiddom's games. Second, Derek and Emily Fwam turned out to be the team's fitness trainers. This reason was particularly important, as it meant that they managed to sneak Barry in right at the top of the long list of kids who wanted to play. Barry had to admit that he was warming to Derek and Emily, having originally thought they were probably numpties. Okay, Bazza's been given his instructions. The rest of you, say hello to Bazza. The team were all changing into their kit. They stopped and looked over at Barry. They didn't look that pleased to see him. They also looked very familiar. Jezza, Tezza, Mezza, Hezza, Quezza, Smezza, Cianena Mezza, and Dave. I said to say hello to Bazza. They mumbled a kind of growling hello and went back to putting on shin pads and tying shoelaces. So, said Barry, you lot are the best kid players in the country. Wow, that's amazing, what with you all being from the same family. Said Big Col, interrupting and looking slightly embarrassed. Well, never mind about that. Here's someone who is definitely one of the best players in the country. He led Barry over to one other player, who had his back to him, stretching his calf. In fact, he could be the best player in the world, our star man, Lionel Tidy. Their star man turned around. He smiled. Bazza, hola, he said. Hola, said Barry. ¿Qué pasa? Okay, thanks, said Barry. Muy bueno, said Lionel. Barry nodded, and Lionel turned back. Big Col went down and whispered, We don't know why he speaks like that. Some kind of weird language, but he's so good we don't ask. Big Col gave Barry a thumbs up and went back into the centre of the changing room. Barry put on his United Kiddom top. His heart was beating with pride. In fact, his heart was beating on a pride, as the badge, which was next to his heart, was 3 lion cubs. Big Col clapped his hands. Barry looked up. Right, everyone, said Big Col. Time for the warm-up. The team came out onto the floodlit pitch. The stadium was already 3/4 full. There was a roar as the crowd saw Lionel Tidy. He acknowledged it with a little smile, then he ran to the touchline with a ball, flicked it up onto his right foot, then his left, then his right, then spun round while the ball was in the air, and kicked it in a perfect arc all the way across the field to where Barry was standing. Barry raised his leg and trapped it dead underneath his left foot. There was a burst of applause. This is going to be brilliant, thought Barry. Then he heard a noise. Fwam! Fwam! He looked round. Derek and Emily were now standing in the centre circle, wearing United Kiddom versions of their lycra suits. They said together in a sing-song voice, Okay, everybody, gather round. Oh no, he heard Jezza say. Not again, said Tezza. Must we? Said Smezza. I wish I hadn't eaten all that cheese, said Dave. But they all ran over anyway, led by Lionel Tidy. Barry joined them. They lined up in a semicircle in front of Derek and Emily. Right, said Derek. Stretches first. Follow us. Barry mentally prepared to do a bit of leg lifting and carrying. He thought he might try that one he'd seen on TV when footballers bend one of their knees backwards and grab the foot from behind. But then Derek and Emily together leapt up in the air and landed on the ground, doing the splits. Ouch, thought Barry. But Lionel Tidy copied them with ease. Jezza, Tezza, Mezza and all the rest of them just about managed to do it, but without the jump and with a lot of groaning. "Come on, Barry," said Emily. "It's your party, so you should be leading the way." Okay." Barry did a frankly rubbish little jump in the air. He landed with his legs only slightly apart and was planning to say, "Sorry, Derek and Emily, don't think I can do it," when his front foot slipped on the grass and, well, wham! Next thing he knew, he was bang on the ground with his legs as far apart as they could go. "Ow!" he said. Chapter 4. "That's brilliant, Barry. Fantastic," said Derek. "Best splits I've seen in a long time." "Ow," said Barry. "Are you all right, Barry?" said Emily. "Ow," he said. "Breathe, Barry. Remember to breathe." "I don't think he can, Derek." "What? Quick! The Grubenschnitzel maneuver." "Of course! The Grubenschnitzel to the rescue!" Suddenly, Derek had Barry lifted up under the arms, and he turned him upside down. "Hey, I can breathe. I just banged my—" Derek slapped him on the back again and again. "Ow! Ow! Ow!" said Barry. "That's right. Get those lungs working again," said Derek. He turned him back the right way up. "Okay," said Emily. "Oh," said Barry. It was the only word he could manage. "Good. Now, everyone, back to the warm-up. Sprint to the goalposts." The other players all started off. Barry didn't. He was still trying to recover from both the splits and the Grubenschnitzel maneuver. "Come on, Barry. We'll help you catch up," said Derek. He and Emily grabbed hold of Barry's arms and started running. He couldn't help but go with them. The Fwams were so fast, it felt like being on the fastest treadmill ever. Barry had to move his still aching legs as fast as they would go to stop just being dragged along the wobbly turf. They ran him all the way to the United Kiddom goal, which was a long way. It might be kids' football, but it was a full-size grown-up pitch, and then back to the centre circle. They stopped there. Barry couldn't breathe. He thought that he must be the end of the warm-up. The rest of the team arrived. "Right," said Emily. "Press-ups." "First one to 100 wins a bottle of Power Fizz," said Derek. The team did 100 press-ups. Lionel Tidy won the bottle of Power Fizz. Barry thought his arms were going to die and have to be buried separately from the rest of his body, and that must be the end of the warm-up. But then the Fwams said, "Right, squat thrusts. And after that they said, "Right, sit-ups." And then after that, "Right, head fertles," which was a kind of rolling neck movement that Barry had never heard of. And after that, "Right, back twists," which was an exercise so painful you don't even want to know about it. And after that, "Right, bottom splats," which was just as painful and also quite embarrassing. After all that, it still wasn't the end of the warm-up, but luckily Derek and Emily were distracted by the arrival onto the pitch of the Bosnia-Herzegovina team for their warm-up. The Bosnia-Herzegovina team didn't come on very quickly. In fact, they strolled on. Their fitness coach was a very fat man, even fatter than Big Cole, with a wide moustache, the tips of which went down to his chin. He was wearing a large furry coat and carrying a chair. He got to their penalty area, put the chair down and sat on it. Next to the chair, he placed a large music player. "Schmoll, verstucken," he said. "Warm up." He pressed a button on the music player. "Vashta, fadudel dunke misha. Bashta hi bumpa puik nushpi," sang a voice. The words didn't mean much to Barry, but the tune was really like My Dog Surprised by His Own Farts. After a while, it became clear that this was in fact what it was, a Bosnia-Herzegovinian version of the song, called Mikanan disht vot voshtat venhisht bluts, because the Bosnia-Herzegovinian team, perfectly in time, started doing the dance. All of them curled up into little balls, then looking up with a surprised face, then getting on all fours and pretending to bark. The trainer with the big moustache watched them for about 2 minutes, then switched off the music player. "Warm-up finished! Well done!" The Bosnia-Herzegovinian team got up and started walking back towards the changing rooms. The United Kiddom team had only stood and watched while they did their dance. Emily and Derek looked a bit surprised by the other team's warm-up, but after they'd gone, clapped their hands and said, "Right, 100 big toe bends, then 100 eyelash presses." But even before they had time to demonstrate a big toe bend, Big Cole came onto the pitch and said, "Don't be stupid, Derek and Emily. The match is about to start."